fourth chapter, that is agriculture sector. In that, we are going to study only the introduction part and the importance of agriculture in Indian economy. Now let us see what is agriculture. Agriculture is the science, art, and business of growing crops and raising animals for food, medicine, fiber, timber, and various industrial products. In addition, it involves preparation, value adding, and marketing of the resulting products to generate income. So, agriculture is producing something with the help of natural resources like land and whatever is available on land. With that, we are producing something. With that, we are generating income. Now, let us see what is the meaning of the word agriculture. Agriculture has been derived from two different Latin words, that is, ager and cultura, where ager means field and cultura means growing or cultivation. So, the literal meaning of agriculture is the cultivation of fields, cultivation on fields also. So, that is the meaning of agriculture. So, hope you understood this one. Agriculture means it came from the Latin word ager and cultura, where ager means field and cultura means growing or the art of cultivation. So, the literal meaning of agriculture is cultivation on fields. Now, let us go through the introduction to agriculture in India. What is the importance of agriculture? First of all, only we are going to have an overview about the agriculture in India. So, agriculture is the primary sector, as you know. You might have studied in the 10th class itself about the different sectors, and also in first year also you might have studied about that, what is agriculture, like that. So, agriculture is the backbone of Indian economy. It is the highest employment providing sector in India. It provides raw materials to industries. Agriculture is the supplier of food for the huge Indian population. It is the way of life, culture, and custom in India. India stood first in the production of pulses, jute, and milk. India stood second in the production of rice, wheat, groundnut, sugarcane, cotton, vegetables, and fruits, etc. Agriculture development is the center of the development of a country. Agriculture has shown remarkable progress in developed countries also, like Denmark, Australia, New Zealand, etc. So, agriculture is one of the basic sector of each and every country, not only in India, everywhere it is very important, as it is providing the food for the people, main reason. Then it is providing employment, it is providing raw material to several industries. All these things we have to know, because there is one essay question from this lesson, the first essay question. Just I will read that one. What is the first essay question? If you have textbook, you can go through that also. Let me see the first essay question, because this is one of the biggest chapter in this year, and it is having a lots of questions from this chapter also. You can expect so many questions, and from the portion we study today, we are going to get one essay question, one 5-mark question, and a few 2-mark questions. So the first essay question, that is, explain the importance of agricultural sector in Indian economy. This is the most important question from this chapter. It may be asked for the public exam also. So let me once again repeat the question. Explain the importance of agricultural sector in Indian economy. And also, you are going to get 2 marks questions from this one, such as agricultural sector itself is a 2-mark question. Then agro-based industries, that is a 2-mark question. Food security, that is also a 2-mark question. So these are the questions that you can expect from this session. Okay. So as you know, agriculture is the backbone. Okay. Without backbone, a human being cannot walk or do anything. So like that, Indian economy cannot do anything without agriculture. So agriculture is very important. That is why we celebrate Farmers' Day on 23rd December. This is a general question. Whenever we study about the agriculture, we have to learn something extra. So here 23rd December is celebrated as the Farmers' Day because it is the birthday of Chaudhary Charan Singh. Okay. His birthday is celebrated as Kisan Divas. Kisan means in Hindi, that is farmer. Farmer who is the one who is cultivating. So he was the person who abolished the Zamindari system in UP, and also in 1938 introduced agricultural produce market bill to protect the interest of the farmers from the greed of traders. So he had done many things for the betterment of agricultural sector. So he was the 5th Prime Minister of India in 1979. So his birthday is celebrated as Farmers' Day. As agriculture is important, the same way farmer is also important to our country. So his birthday is considered as Farmers' Day and celebrated as Farmers' Day every 23rd of December. Now let us move to the most important question, that is the importance of agriculture in India. As you know, this year there are subheadings are there. So the first step to learn a question is to learn the side headings. So whenever you start an essay, there should be an introduction and also there should be a conclusion. So in the introduction, what we have discussed so far, you can use that sentences, some of the sentences you can select as the introduction to this question. Then the main body of the essay contains 8 points. The first one, share of agriculture in national income. Then employment providing, it is the highest employment providing sector. Third point, importance in international trade. 4, effective social safety net. Fifth, food supplier of the expanding population. 6, role of agriculture in industrialization. 7, market for industrial products. And finally, 8, other factors. If you want, you can note down. This is the main headings that you have to write inside the essay, and downside that one paragraph, maybe one table, something you might be observing there. So in 1 or 2 points, there will be some tables are there. You can produce that one. Otherwise, you can explain yourself. By understanding this only, you can move to that essay. So once again, I repeat this. The first point, share of agriculture in national income. Second point, employment providing sector. Third, importance in international trade. Fourth, effective social safety net. Fifth, food supplier of the expanding population. Sixth, role of agriculture in industrialization. 7, market for industrial products. 8, other factors. Now, let us move to the first point, that is share of agriculture in national income. You might have studied already about the agriculture sector. What are the subsectors of agriculture sector? Yes, here in this picture you can see mining, coal and iron, agriculture, that is cultivation, crops and livestock, that is dairy farming. That means growing buffaloes or cows, even chicken, all these comes under dairy. Then fishing, that also comes under primary sector. Forestry, that is also a part of primary sector. mineral extraction like oil, that is also a part of primary sector. So here we are going to study about the agriculture sector's contribution to national income. Agriculture sector including forestry, fishing, mining, quarrying, and allied activities like animal husbandry, horticulture, silk industry, etc., is significantly contributing to the gross domestic product of India. Now, what is the share of this agricultural sector to national income? Here you can see a table here. In this table, on the left hand side, there is the year, and on the right hand side, percentage share of agriculture sector to GDP, you can observe. So in 1950-51, the contribution to GDP was around 56.50%. In 1970-71, the share decreased to 45.90%. In 1990-91, further decreased to 34.00%. And in 2000-2001, it was about 24.70. Then in 2010-11, it decreased to 14.50. And 2012-13, it decreased to 13.60. And 2013-14, it decreased to 13.90. The above table shows that the share of the agriculture in national income has been declining gradually from 1950-51 to till date. This is mainly due to the first fast development of non-agriculture sectors in the economy. Actually, when India got independence, at that time, the only employment providing sector and majority of the people were depending upon the agriculture, and the secondary and tertiary sectors were not developed. And the government of India introduced 5-year plans and some other developmental activities. With that, the other sectors other than agriculture, that is secondary sector and the tertiary sector, industrial sector and the service sector, developed very fastly. Because of that, the share in the GDP also, that sector's share in GDP also increased. It doesn't mean that agriculture's share decreased. We cannot say like that. Agriculture, more than that of agriculture's share, the share of the industrial sector and the service sectors increased. That is the main reason. Fast development of the secondary and tertiary sector. Now, here you can see this is mainly due to the fast development of the non-agricultural sectors in the economy. The share decreased from 56.50% in 1950-51 to 13.90% by 2013-14. This is also an indicator towards the development of the country. As you can see, the share of the agriculture in developed countries like UK, USA is about 2 to 3%. And this proportion is 7% in France and 6% in Australia. These are developed countries. So this does not mean that they are not giving importance to the agriculture. It is because the other sectors has grown significantly, and then whatever the essential purpose they want to receive from the agriculture, that is happening. So they are providing food to the people and to the raw materials to the industries. That purpose is served. So the other sectors grown very fastly and they contribute more to the economy. That is why their share is shown very less, 2 to 3. That means below 10%. And now let us move to the second point, that is employment providing sector. As you know, India is a developing country, predominantly an agricultural country. So agriculture dominates in the economy to such an extent that a very high proportion of working population in India is engaged in agriculture. So majority of the population of India engaged in agricultural activities. Here you can see a table in that population and agricultural workers in millions. It is given here. And on the left hand side, there is population, and the working population share in 1951 and 2011 comparative data is given here. The total population in India in 1951 was 361 million and it increased to 1,210 million in 2011. As you can see, the same way at that time, in 1951, there was only 140 million workers. These workers increased to 427.9 in 2011. In that, cultivators, 70 million, that is 50% were cultivators, whereas in 2011, it was 127.3, that is only around 30%, 29.7% were cultivators. Then agricultural laborers. In the total working population, 28 million, that is 20% people were agricultural laborers. But here you can see in 2011, it increased, that is 106.8 million, that is 29.7% of the people in India were agricultural laborers. Then population employed on land, that means the cultivators plus the agricultural laborers. Altogether, we'll get 70 plus 28, that is 98. 70% were depending upon land in 1951. In India in 2011, it decreased, but still it is above 54. Around 55% of the people are depending on agriculture for their employment. So that is the largest employment providing sector in India. The table shows that agriculture provided employment to 98 million people and it increased to 234 million in 2011. In terms of percentage, the people working on the land decreased from 70 to 54.7%. Agricultural laborers increased from 20 to 25% during 1951 to 2011. During same time, cultivators declined from 50% to 29%, which indicates the pauperization of the rural farmers. Now, let us move to the third point, importance in international trade. What do you mean by international trade? Yes, it is the trade between one country to another country. Here, India is trading with the other countries. So, what India is trading with others? That is the question. Mainly cotton, jute, tea, etc. For the long time, three agricultural based exports of India like cotton textiles, jute and tea accounted more than 50%. More than 50% of the export from India comprised of cotton, jute and tea. If we add other agricultural commodities, the share of agriculture in exports will rise to 70 to 75%. This shows that India is basically an agrarian country, developing country. India's technology is not developed that much. The other sectors has also not developed that much. So majority of the export comes from agricultural sector. At present, we are exporting sugar, cotton, tobacco, rice, cashew nuts, spices, coffee, tea, pulses, fruits, fish, meat, etc. and earn foreign exchange. What do you mean by foreign exchange? The money that we receive from this trade from the other countries. So that is the foreign exchange. Why that is important? If you want to purchase any other item from their country, we have to pay their money. So it will help us in importing items. Our export will help us to import new technologies or something from their side. So this agriculture is helping for that also. Now let us see what is the share of exports with the help of a table. Here you can see the table here is given. Total value of exports are given. Value of agricultural products in export. Total export is one side. In that, what is the share of agriculture is given and what is the percentage of agricultural export. In 1960-61, Total value of exports was 642 crores, and in that agricultural products composed of 284 crores, and the share of agricultural export was 44.2%. In 1980-81, the value of total exports was 6,711 crores, whereas the agricultural contributed 2,057 crores. The total share of agriculture was 30.7%. In 2001, the value of total exports increased to 2,03,571. In that, 28,582 crores accounted by agricultural sector. The percentage was 14. Then in 2011-12, it was 14 lakhs 65,959 crores, and in that 1,80,279 crores was the contribution of agricultural products, and it was accounted around 12.3%. Here in this table, it is clear that the share of agricultural export is gradually decreasing. It doesn't mean that the amount is decreasing, the export quantity is decreasing, the share of agriculture in export is decreasing. It means that the other sectors are contributing more. The table reveals that the total value of agricultural products exported was rupees 284 crore in 1960-61. This amount has increased to 1,80,279 crore in 2011-12. The share of agriculture has been declined from 44.2% in 1960-61 to 12.3% in 2011-12 because the total exports of other sectors of the economy increased. That is the main reason. Agriculture export doesn't decline. Now, let us move to the fourth point, effective social safety net. Social safety net means protecting the society. As this is the pandemic situation, you'll be able to know we were unable to go to the companies or work outside, but we were able to work on agricultural farms, okay, by keeping the social distancing and everything. If you have a land, you can go there and you can work there and you can earn something from that one. But we were unable to do any work during the pandemic situation due to lockdown and something. But agriculture was at that time a safe area to work. So here you can see, though agriculture presently contributes less than 50% of India's GDP, yet to employ more than half of the workforce. Even though the agriculture is providing only 50% to the GDP, 50% of the people are employed in agriculture sector. 50% of the people are earning income from agriculture sector. If crops, animal husbandry, fisheries, agro-based industries and horticulture are developed at household level, hunger and poverty will not be more. So if we develop these areas, we can reduce the poverty also. So to reduce poverty, agricultural development is very important. Green revolution along with white revolution and blue revolution provides income and reduce rural poverty and eradication of poverty. You might have heard about green revolution. It is a high yielding variety of seeds using that one. High production had started in India. Then what about white revolution? Do you know about white revolution? Yes, it is the production of milk. So increase the production of milk, that was known as white revolution. Then what is blue revolution then? Yes, blue indicates water. So water, it is not water revolution. Inside from water what we get, that is fish. So growing fish is the high varieties of fish, and exporting that fish comes under this blue revolution. Blue revolution is in the case of the production of fish. Thus, agriculture acts as an effective social safety net. As we have already discussed about that one. Agriculture is a safe sector where everybody can work. And also, due to pandemic, so many lost their jobs in companies. Even different kinds of jobs they lost. Even teachers, private teachers, so many lost their job. But those who were farmers, they still did their job. So definitely we can say that agriculture sector is a social safety net. Now let us move to the fifth point, and it is about the food supply for the expanding population. So here you can see what are the food items. You can see wheat, rice, vegetables, dal, fish, mutton. All these things come under food category. So which sector provides food for us? The basic sector that provides food for the people is the agriculture sector. Now let us move to India's agriculture sector. The hunger index shows that India's rank is 55 out of 76 countries. There was a study regarding hunger. Uh, that means whether the persons in India are getting enough food grains by taking the average availability of the food grains. How can we get the average total food grain production divided by the population? We will get the average. So by taking that study, because India is a hugely populated country, the second highest populated country, and India's rank in hunger index also gone very high. It is 55 out of 76. India is at the bottom. So in India, there is hunger is there. So India is a very big land. So much population is there, but that much food items are not supplied or produced inside India. This shows that there is acute food shortage in India due to heavy pressure of population in India. The per capita availability of food grains, that means per head availability of food grains, was 510.1 grams per day in 1991. But it has declined to 468.9 grams in 2013. That means it is the effect of high population. Population increased and the per capita availability of the food grains decreased. Therefore, agriculture should be developed in such a way that there is marketable surplus of food grains. So how we have to develop our agriculture? There should be surplus food grains for our expanding population. Though the total food grains production increased in India, it's not sufficient to ensure food security to the growing population. Now let us move to the role of agriculture in industrialization. Is there any connection between agriculture and industry? You have studied already about the different sectors and their interdependence. Especially the agriculture and industry has a close connection between each other. The industries depend upon agricultural products for their raw materials are called agro-based industry. In India, almost all the industries are agro-based industries. What are agro-based industries? The industries depend upon agricultural products for their raw materials are called agro-based industries. For example, industries like cotton, jute, textile, sugar, flour mills, edible oils, etc. directly depend upon the agriculture for raw material. Some industries like handloom weaving, rice husking, food processing, oil crushing, horticulture, etc. also depend upon agriculture. These are only few examples. There are so many other industries which are depending upon the agriculture for their raw material or for their working itself. As all the sectors are interdependent each other, the development of agriculture will provide more raw materials, and so the industrial sector will also develop. So if the agriculture sector developed means automatically it will provide more raw materials. That more raw materials will help the industrial sector to develop more. The development of industrial sector in turn provide machines and fertilizers to the better development of agriculture. Suppose if the industrial sector developed well, then the industries will produce machines like tractor or some other machines which are useful in cultivation. Such kind of machines they will provide, and fertilizers they will provide. It will increase the productivity of the agriculture again. So automatically, it is having an interdependent relationship, and the economy of India will be developed. So one sector developed means it will help the other sector to develop also. Now let us move to market for industrial products. Look at this slide. You can see so many pictures that you are using daily using in your life. The first picture you can see Colgate. When you wake up, if you want to brush, you are using this toothpaste. So here it is Colgate, Sensodyne, these are toothpaste. Then normally the people will take bath. So they will use soaps also. So that is also produced by industries. This toothpaste, soaps, all these are produced by industries. But who is using these items? Yes, these items are used by the household, the people. So agriculture sector also will use these kinds of items. So the people from agriculture sector, as we have studied already, 50% of the people of India are engaged with the agricultural activities. So the people are getting income from agricultural activities. If they get agricultural income, then only they will be able to purchase these items produced by the industry. So whatever the items industry produces, it will be absorbed by the other sectors. So 50% of the people are working in agriculture sector. So agriculture developed means the people will get more income. They will start buying more toothpaste, more soaps, more tea packets, more dresses, more kitchen items, biscuits, or whatever the items they need, especially this capital goods like tractor, JCB, even mobile phones, okay, cleaning items, whatever the items produced by the industry sector will be absorbed by the agriculture sector. Now let us see market for the industrial products. Two-thirds of the population of developing countries like India lives in rural areas. The people who are living in rural areas are depending on agriculture for their livelihood. Actually, the purchasing power of the people in rural areas are too low to purchase industrial products. Actually, the rural people are poor. Okay, they are only getting income from the agriculture only. If that agriculture developed means their income will increase. That is the point. Actually, it is the biggest market, and if steps are taken to increase agriculture produce and productivity, the income of the rural sector will increase. Automatically, the income increase means definitely there will be demand for the industrial products. As a result of increase in income, the people in rural areas will demand more industrial goods. Definitely, if we are having more money with us, we'll purchase more items. We won't be saving that much. We'll be purchasing more items. Thus, increased demand for industrial goods leads to the development of industrial sector and the market for industrial products. So whenever this income increases, the people will demand more goods. So definitely the industries has to produce more. Automatically, the industrial sector also will increase or develop. Now, let us see all the other factors that reiterate the importance of agriculture. Next, you can see there are 5-6 points are there. First one, the development of agriculture sector directly promotes growth of transport sector. By transporting agricultural product, transport sector earns income. As you know, transport, banking, all these items are comes under which sector? Yes, that is the tertiary sector. So the agricultural development will lead to the development of the tertiary sector also. In that tertiary sector, especially the transport, definitely the agricultural products must be transported from one area to the other area, especially from farm to the yard at least. So if they are transporting that one means they are giving the transport amount for transporting that also. So automatically this transport sector will develop. Now, development of agriculture sector invites expansion of branches of banks into rural areas. These banks collect not only deposits from rural areas to form capital, but also provides financial assistance to them. Suppose if the farmers or if the agriculture sector is developed well, definitely they will earn more. If they earn more, they will have a tendency to save also. Where they will save? Definitely they have to save on the banks. So for saving the money, one of the best medium is bank. Bank will go there and start a new branch. Automatically, the savings will increase. The same bank will help the farmers to purchase more items, capital goods like tractor, or for cultivation itself, the bank will give loan. So if the agriculture developed means that's after all effect. The spread effect is there that will develop the rural areas also. Agriculture development minimizes migration from rural to urban area. Actually, the people are migrating from rural to urban because of lack of jobs or income. For earning only, they are moving one place to another. Suppose if they are able to earn income in their village only, definitely they will stay there only and they will work there. So migration will be reduced. Agriculture, being chief source for the supply of food and fodder to the cattle, plays a crucial role in the development of animal husbandry and dairying. Agriculture, la kunde, without agriculture, we cannot provide food and fodder to the animals. So, in that area also, agriculture dominates. Without agriculture, there will be no animal husbandry and dairying like that. Then farm tourism, another important concept is that farm tourism in rural areas can be developed through the development of agriculture. What do you mean by farm tourism? In towns and cities, the people, they are unaware of the cultivation and farming practices. So nowadays, the people, those who live in cities and towns, move towards rural area to experience and learn about the farming activities. That is also known as farm tourism. Then agriculture and allied sectors play a key role in protecting biodiversity. Agriculture is growing trees and growing plants. So definitely it is the best and environmental friendly sector is the agriculture sector. So it helps to reduce the pollution and everything. So if you are using more chemical fertilizers, definitely it will create more pollution. But if you are using normal bio fertilizers or something, it is the most useful and environmental friendly sector is the agriculture sector. Now, both central and state governments are allocating more funds in budget for the development of agriculture in order to accelerate the growth of farm sector. It implies the importance of agriculture. Thus, agriculture occupies a vital role in the Indian economy. This point you can write as the conclusion. So, because of the importance of the agriculture sector, the central government and the state government, even the world governments are providing funds and advices to protect the agriculture sector and for the development of the world and to reduce pollution and everything. So that is the end of the session.